Yeah. Um, Listen, we always knew this was going to be a tough place to come, and you put the situation that we're in, you add that to the equation, it becomes that much tougher because they're fighting tooth and nail for their lives as well. So, you know, uh, and another day at a different point in the season, you probably would say 1-1, not a terrible result. We'll go back to Atlanta. At this point in the season, it's disappointing because we know the situation we find ourselves in. And with that being said, if you're being a realist, 1-1 is probably a fair result. I don't know if we deserve three, but at this point, whether you deserve it or not, I would much rather take three than one. So that part of it is what it is.
That last save of the game that you made, the kick save, what do you remember about that? When could you actually see that ball coming through that crowd?
Yeah, I mean, listen, as they started making changes and subs and personnel they were bringing on, you kind of had an idea of where the game was going to continue to go to. I mean, listen, you even before they started making subs, right? They're a team that crosses the ball. They get numbers in the box. They overload the box in terms of personnel, in terms of their runs, and then they've got their second line at the top of the box in different cutback areas, obviously for the goal. So they get numbers forward, and that late in the game, I don't even remember, to be honest. I think the cross came in, Bedoya maybe heads it down. I'm not sure who they laid off maybe, and then comes through a bit of traffic, I think. But yeah, I was able to get my foot on it, keep it out, and the ensuing shot from distance happily sailed over the bar. So,
As you know, y'all's mistakes have contributed to opponents' goals this season. But Harriel's goal, to me, it just looked like just a really good play by the Union. He kind of came from an odd space into space, and I don't think anyone expected him to be in, and put a pretty good lick on the ball.
Yeah, listen, it's a good finish. It's disappointing from our standpoint because I'm not going to go into the specifics, but if you watch the entire play, we could do more. And so it's disappointing in that sense.
Jim Curtin said that he felt like his team settled a little bit too much for crosses. How would you kind of say y'all's game plan laid out? Is that what you wanted to force them into?
I don't know necessarily if that was the game plan per se. I think, listen, in the game of soccer, right? Like if you can force them wide, delay, let them play wide, and then deal with crosses. The two in front of me, the two center backs, did a really good job tonight in terms of dealing with those crosses. And like I said, they put a lot of numbers in the box. Pedro, I remember one in the first half, made a really good clearance on the back post, the back part of the 6-yard box, where 2 weeks ago he got absolutely slaughtered and took some stitches, and the game before that got slaughtered again on the back post. And so, listen, that's not an easy thing to do, right? And so those guys were brave. Got to put your head into places, and that may not be nice. And so, like I said, I don't know if that was our game plan per se. I think that is a strength of theirs, and so we knew that, hey, we're going to have to defend crosses. We're going to have to defend the box. For the most part, I thought we did a decent job.
I want to ask you about Pedro.
Yeah.
He's settled in pretty well, and
sure.
maybe over these past 3-4 games, he's been one of the best players in these games. How quickly do you think it took him to get comfortable, and how effective has he been?
Yeah, listen, I think for someone to jump in with no real preseason, jump in the middle of the season, be thrown into a team that found ourselves in the position we found ourselves in when he came in, right? And to do the job that he's done, he's been fantastic for us. I think he's only going to continue to grow, continue to feel more and more comfortable within the group, within the team. you know, and as that happens, you know, we'll continue to ask more of him and continue to push him in a good way because, you know, especially, you know, getting forward, right? He's a good attacking fullback. His defensive ability is very good. There's moments in games where sometimes he drifts in, drifts out. Some more times than not, if we can get him to drift in, that's, like I said, he's only going to continue to help us.
Last one for me, the incident with Uwa. He goes into the back of Sleesh on the end line. He gets a yellow, you get in his face.
Oh, yeah.
How important is it in those moments to make that statement by getting in his face and defending your teammate?
Listen, I'm pretty. You got booked for it, right? It's a shit challenge. It's a shit challenge. There's no need for that. He knows what he's doing, and I'm not going to stand for that in terms of a needless challenge. Just. I don't want to say dirty, but it's a stupid challenge. He knows what he's doing. He obviously gets booked for it. You know, but listen, if we're gonna have each other's backs in terms of dealing with this, you know, the nonsense that goes on in amongst 90 minutes, and you know, I'm too old for seeing shit like that, and so it pissed me off, and yeah. So anyway, sorry for the language.
Anything else, Coach?
You gonna watch the table before we all take off?
Doesn't matter at this point. We got to win Wednesday. Simple as that.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Well,
Gents, thank you. Always a pleasure.
that was a heck of a save.